This is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Two Gentlemen of Verona, a play by William Shakespeare. A young gentleman named Valentine is preparing to leave to Verona to see whether he can make his fortunes in Milan. And his best friend Proteus chooses to stay in Verona and pursue his love for a woman named Julia. Valentine's servant Speed delivers a love letter from Proteus to Julia, but Julia receives the love letter coldly because she is not interested. Meanwhile, Julia discusses her many suitors with the maid Lucita, and Lucita criticizes all the persons except Proteus. And it is revealed that Lucita and not Julia took the letter from Speed. Julia pretends to be scandalized and rips up the letter but immediately regrets giving in to her temper. And then she picks up all the pieces and kisses the piece which bears Proteus's name. Now Proteus's father Antonio talks to his servant Panthino about Proteus's reputation. Panthino worries that Proteus is trailing behind his peers, and since he has remained at home while all the other men of his age have travelled for work or study. And Antonio admits that his son cannot be a perfect man without travelling, and therefore he agrees to send him to Milan. Proteus laments leaving Julia, who has professed her love for him in a letter. In Milan, Valentine has fallen in love with Silvia, the daughter of the Duke. Because Silvia cannot openly profess her love, she has Valentine write a letter on her behalf to an anonymous lover, and then she delivers that letter to him itself. Now back in Verona, Proteus and Julia privately exchange rings and vows. Julia departs without speaking, and Proteus leaves for Milan. His servant Lance also prepares to leave, though he is deeply wounded by the fact that his dog Crab didn't cry when he heard the news. Proteus arrives in Milan, where he is warmly greeted by the Duke and Silvia, who had heard about his many virtues from Valentine. Valentine tells Proteus that he is in love and plans to marry Silvia and apologizes for teasing him. When Proteus is alone, he reveals that he is also in love with Silvia and losing his affection for Valentine as a result. Speed and Lance privately discuss their masters' lives, then goes drinking together. In a soliloquy, Proteus acknowledges that his love for Silvia is leading him to betray both his lover and his best friend. He decides to tell Silvia's father about a plan to elope with Valentine. Back in Verona, Julia decides to dress like a boy and travel to Milan to be reunited with Proteus. Proteus tells the Duke about Valentine and Silvia's plans to elope, promising that he is acting out of love for the Duke and not hatred for his romantic rival. To test Proteus's word, the Duke asks Valentine for advice about seducing a woman who is promised to be another man and locked in a tower. Valentine accidentally reveals his plan to steal Silvia, and the Duke banishes him from Milan under penalty of death. Proteus offers to be the mediator for letters between Valentine and Silvia. Meanwhile, the Duke struggles to convince Thurio, a favoured member of his court, that Silvia will eventually accept him. The Duke asks Proteus to help Silvia get over Valentine by telling her he is a liar, a coward, and not of noble birth. After a brief hesitation, Proteus agrees, saying she will believe these lies if they come from him. Proteus tells Thurio to write elaborate love poems to Silvia, then sing them under her window in order to seduce her. Outside of Milan's gate, Valentine encounters a group of outlaws who elect him as their king after he claims he was exiled for murder. Many of the outlaws are former gentlemen who have been banished for crimes of passion, such as stealing women away from their homes. Back in Milan, Julia, disguised as a page boy, watches as Proteus attempts to seduce Silvia by singing under her window. Although Silvia insults and rejects him, Julia is heartbroken by the betrayal. Silvia enlists her friend Sir Eglamour, an old widow knight, to help her travel safely to Mantua to meet Valentine. She appeals to his sense of romance, calling the proposed marriage to Thurio an unholy union. Proteus sends Julia disguised as a page boy and using the name Sebastian to Silvia with a gift, the ring that Julia gave him when he left Verona. Heartbroken, Julia determines to do as he asks and tries to dissuade Silvia from accepting. Silvia immediately rejects the ring, knowing it belongs to Julia and expressing pity for her. As Sebastian, Julia thanks Silvia for her pity, saying the woman still loves Proteus. With Sir Eglamour's help, Silvia escapes Milan. Proteus lies to Thurio about Silvia's feelings, saying that she is warming to him. When the Duke learns of Sylvia's escape, he orders Thuruva, Proteus, and Julia, who is now Sebastian, to help him find her. Thuria reluctantly agrees, calling Sylvia's behavior peevish. Proteus follows for his love of Sylvia, and Julia follows for her love of Proteus. Sylvia is captured by the outlaws, who take her to their leader, promising he will not assault her. However, the outlaws are themselves captured by Proteus and Julia, who rescue Sylvia against her will. Sylvia continues to reject Proteus's advances, claiming she would rather die than be with him. As Valentine watches from the shadows, Proteus threatens to assault Sylvia and take her love by force. Valentine stops the assault, and Proteus immediately apologizes for his behavior. Valentine forgives Proteus, saying that he loves Proteus as much as he loves Sylvia. Julia faints, revealing her true identity. She criticizes Proteus's fickle nature, and he apologizes to her again. The outlaws enter with the Duke and Thurio. Thurio claims ownership over Sylvia. When Valentine threatens to kill him, Thurio backs off. Disgusted by Thurio's cowardice and impressed by Valentine's bravery, the Duke agrees to let Sylvia marry Valentine. He also agrees to let the outlaws re-enter society. A double wedding is organized for Valentine and Sylvia, and Proteus and Julia are here ends the play. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.